guys, so apparently if you're filming a video on your phone and someone calls you, it stops your video and like automatically stops it recording. It doesn't give you an option to do anything else. And I don't edit videos, so hopefully no one else will call me. So thankfully I was only like 5 minutes into this. Okay, what I had discussed before. Oh, sorry, I just discovered. This is why we leave beading to the end, guys, because I just discovered that as I put this in my Q-snap, the beads, my snake eye beads, it broke them off. But it was just 2 beads. So I'll just take those threads out and sew them back on when I'm done. Oh well. But anyway, whips. The only whip that I have worked on since the last time I talked to you guys is this piece, my Village of Hawkhorn Hollow. I really felt bad because I had neglected it. I hadn't worked on it at all. Ed and I started this stitch along, so super guilt for not working on it at all when it was my stitch along. So the October, December, the January block is this one, which I finished. I'll tell you about a few changes that I made to it. You can see that I changed it from Opal's boarding house to Emily's boarding house. I took out the weird horizontal vine that was stitched in right there. That made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. It notes that these are dogs. They've always looked like goats to me, guys. Always. Let's get it in there where you can see it. So I turned them into goats. I even gave them little horizontal slits on their eyes. Changed the color of one of them so that he shows up better on the fence. I've discussed this on Instagram. I think it looks like they're doing something a little naughty. You guys be the judge. So I call them, on here I guess I'll call them my amorous goats. A couple of other changes. The dark brown around the windows and at the base of the house was a color that was closer to the color on the front of the house. That's something that I've noticed with this because it's charted for NPI silks, and when they do the DMC conversions, sometimes the colors are a little bit too close to me, and I want contrast. Like if I'm going to take the time to stitch in a completely different color, I want to be able to tell that it's a different color, unless we're doing like a gradient. This you're supposed to be able to tell this is different. So I changed that to that dark brown. I did the same thing for these checkerboards at the bottom. To me, they were way too close. So these are 2 completely different greens than what is charted. As I've started the middle one, everything is as it's supposed to be, except for this color I'm working with now. In the center of these trees, the darker color was like exactly the same as the lighter color. Like it was 1 shade off, which was indistinguishable. So if I'm going to take the time to stitch every other stitch for a checkerboard pattern, I want it to look like a checkerboard pattern. So I switched that out. So this is, still not good. What you're looking at here is all I have accomplished since the last time we spoke. But that's not bad. Not bad, not bad. I do. Still suffering from the same issue as last time, where I'm emotionally dealing with my issues through retail therapy and eating peanut butter M&Ms in large amounts, which, yeah, whatever. Works for me, so that's what I'm doing. One of the things that I purchased is, I kept saying that I was going to make some grime guards, and I don't have a sewing machine, and I was going to have to go up to my mom's and do it, and with everything that's happened, she and I both have way too much on our plate to be doing crafts at the moment, or like new crafts and figuring stuff out. So I bought some grime guards. I had messaged a while ago this girl that I found on Instagram, and that led me to her online store, and it said that she was in Northwest Georgia. So I messaged her and was like, you know, it's fall. It was fall at the time. It's fall. There are craft shows and everything everywhere. Are you doing any of these craft shows? I would like to actually show up and be able to pick out and see what you have in person. And, you know, buy some from you at that point. And we got talking back and forth, and we knew each other. What are the chances that some random person on Instagram that I follow who stitches and who has an online store, I've spent the night at her house when we were little kids. Like, I was friends with her sister. So weird. So weird. But anyway, it's H-Cats Crafts. HKATSCRAFTS. That's her name on Instagram. And then you can easily find her online store, but I'll link it below. This one I got from her. See the lovely lion pattern. This is an 11 by 11 Q-snap cover. I did have it on my Hopper and Hollow piece. This one you can see how she packages them. I haven't taken this one out yet. Oh, well, there's her site for you. This one you can see is a lovely floral print with the antlers on it. Really good quality. I'm not just saying this because I apparently know her, but it's really good quality. I'm really happy with them, and I would recommend them, most definitely. Other haul includes, some of this I showed on Instagram, so you might have already seen if you follow me on there. This one is based on a piece that is actually on display at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. This is based on a tapestry from the 15th century called Unicorn Held Captive. Obviously, the tapestry is way more intricate than this. I've never seen this chart before. I stumbled upon it on eBay late one night and of course bought it immediately, the way you do late at night when you're looking at things when you can't sleep. I looked and looked for a copyright date to see how old this is, and I just don't see it, but it's old. Let's see, I have no idea where the source yarn shop is. But this is the chart. The actual tapestry looks like it's on a black or charcoal background, so I would stitch this on something more like that, but not black. Maybe like a charcoal gray or a granite color, something mottled. Would probably antique these colors. There are a few things that are really vital in the original tapestry that I might add into this, like this pomegranate tree. There are drippings on the unicorn that kind of look like blood, but it's pomegranate juice. And then a lot of this is about fertility, I believe, and I think that there's like this particular flower plays big into that, and there's supposed to be a frog. Like there's a frog that's like really poignant in the whole point of this piece and the design, and there's no frog on here, so I may figure out how to stitch a frog. We'll see. But I'm really excited about this. Don't know when I'll start it, but there's that. I was also on Stash Unload late one night, and I found a piece by a designer called Native Sun that I have never seen before, and I loved it. And no one had said me please on it, so I said me please and PM'd the lady, and she was like, there's a buyer pending on this. I was like, but nobody said me please, but whatever. Because ultimately, even though I didn't get that piece, it turned me on to this designer, which led me to find this one on Etsy, which I actually like better. This is called Blanket Sampler, and you get this design and this one, but this is the one I was really interested in. I'll get in close for you. I love it. I think that is phenomenal. And that would be a nice, fun, easy, mindless stitch. But if you're not familiar with this designer, it's obviously a lot of similarly inspired designs. Also not sure how old this one is. I was looking for a copyright. No. But it's really, really lovely. Nice chart. I also bought a couple of lavender and lace and Mirabilia patterns. Well, 2 lavender and lace, 1 Mirabilia. This lavender and lace, I stumbled across and just really liked it. Part of the reason I like it is her face looks so realistic, it's almost creepy. It looks to me like her face is too realistic for how cartoony her hair looks, so I might, like, I don't know, put some tendrils across her forehead or something. It almost looks like the face, this realistic face, has been superimposed on this pattern. But it's called Evangeline, and my understanding is this was designed after Hurricane Katrina, so it's kind of a New Orleans tribute piece. But I'll get in closer so you can see that face. You can see what I mean about how realistic it looks. But I do really love this piece. I definitely want to stitch it. One more time. Really like that one. And I found this Mirabilia pattern really cheap on Etsy. And it's an old one. I don't believe this is in print anymore. It's not sealed. The picture on the front is actually a photo. And I know I'd heard you guys say before that some of the old Mirabilias actually have photographs on the front. This is one of them. It's called The Dreamer. It's from 1994. You can see the glare on the photograph because it is actually a photograph. Really pretty. Colors are lovely. But you can still find this one. I've seen several since I came across this one, but I don't know why it never jumped out at me before, but it did this time. The other lavender and lace pattern that I bought, turns out a lot of us have this now. Kelly has it, Jessica, I believe, has it, Olivia has it, and I think I'm forgetting somebody, but Olivia and I were talking about it and how it's very, like, it has a very Renaissance feel to it. It's why we both love it. We love the colors. And I was telling her I kind of want to change the wings. Like, I don't know if I would do fairy wings or butterfly wings, or she joked and then said, wait, that might actually be kind of cool, bat wings. But the more I look at it, the more I think I might just be lazy and just make them black. Like a dark, kind of a dark Renaissance angel, black and brown or charcoal, or just a dark wing. I think that'd be kind of cool. But she is beautiful. See her closer. Really gorgeous. Another one that I bought, this was like a really cheap Etsy download. It's one that's been in my Etsy wish list for a long time. And I thought, you know what, before I completely give up on full coverage pieces, because I've said this before, I've got to be in the right frame of mind. And the never being able to really see a finish in this lifetime, I think, is what gets to me on them. Like, if I knew that if I could just stitch solid for a few months and get it done. But that's just not how Heaven and Earth designs work. And the minis and the quick stitches, there's never anything that really appeals to me. So I found this chart. This is by Instant Cross Stitch on Etsy. And it's kind of a pin-up design, but maybe yes and no. Can I say that? Yes, it's yes and no. It's a pin-up design. It's called Relaxing in a Tub Reading a Book. And the stitch count, which is why I'm considering doing this full coverage, and I think I'll do it on 18 count Aida and see if I enjoy that more. The stitch count is 218 by 200. It's much better than like 500 by 700 or whatever the Heaven and Earth designs are. But this is the design. I have been eyeing this maybe for about a year and just thinking how much I love it and how pretty I think it is, and so I may give that a try. Actually, I think I have a piece of 18 count Aida that came with a kit that I discarded because I don't normally like to stitch on Aida, but for this I think I might, and just see if it's big enough for this. So this is, I really want to do this. It's just beautiful. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you guys, I showed you this chart last time that I had gotten, that I had looked at to make for my dad before he passed away. I'm still going to make it. This is Medieval Pheasant Tapestry. And I was saying that I really wasn't sure, like I didn't like that fabric because I felt like some of the colors got lost on it. And I tend to like the darker fabrics now. So as I was thinking about it, Jim, my husband, bought me this piece just randomly because he liked it from Picture This Plus at Christmas with no purpose. This is called Dusk. I think this will be really pretty. And I think I'll take the fabric and the chart with me when I go get floss for it. And if anything is too close, I'll just sub it out. Because some of those leaves, like the green leaves in the corner, might be too close. But I can just change those to a different color. I really like this fabric for this, I think. I think that's going to be lovely. Because all the lighter shades are going to pop. All of the lighter shades are just going to pop on this. And the birds are going to pop on this. The tree. I think it's going to be nice. You guys let me know what you think. But that is 32 count Dusk by Picture This Plus. Really pretty. Sorry, Dharma was into something. I had to make sure she had a toy and not something she's not supposed to have. Let's see. I've been struggling because I am acquiring quite a stash of charts with how to organize those other than just tossing them in my ottoman where they could get bent and messed up. So I thought, you know, I could either do a 3-ring binder and put them in there and slide them in sleeves, or I could get some magazine holders and put them in there. So I kind of like the idea of magazine holders. So I went to Target the other day and was accepting the fact that I was going to pay like $8 or $9 a piece for magazine holders. And you know when you walk in the store, that little bargain section that Target has, they have things for like $1 or $2 or $3. $3 magazine holders. So obviously they only had a couple left, so I got a silver, a gold, and another gold that I already stuck some stuff in. But I'm kind of psyched about $3 magazine holders. So if that's something you were thinking about doing with yours, go to your local Target and get these. Now with that said, which one is it? Yeah, it's the one with actual charts in it. If you're extremely OCD and this is going to bother you, because like, see how that's crooked? That would normally drive me crazy, but then I just tell myself, Emily, you only paid $3 for this. Get over it. And that's, you know, I probably won't face this side out anyway. I'll probably have it this way where you can see, whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll put these on the bookshelves up in my extra bedroom on the bottom shelf and nobody will ever know. So I'm going to pull all of my stash out, put it in those. I'm probably going to go find some like dividers with tabs once I figure out how many different designers I have and separate them by designer. And I may have to go, I cleaned out the Target here where I live, but I'm thinking about going to the Target in the next town over tomorrow, which is a much bigger super Target, and seeing what they have. And also, I really want to kit this up and get started on it. And there's a Michaels across the street from that Target, but I'm hearing an ugly rumor that Michaels isn't going to carry DMC anymore and they're clearing it out. You guys let me know what's happening in your towns because I haven't actually gone and checked it out here. I'm hoping they still have DMC because all that we have here in my town is a Hobby Lobby that does not carry all of DMC. It just, like, it's like they got to a point where DMC was making new colors and they just quit. Hold on. Dharma? What are you doing? Yeah? You're doing something you're not supposed to be doing? You know when you get onto your cat and she walks into the room looking at you with that look like, I wasn't doing anything. She was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing. Back to what I was saying. So hopefully I'm going to get down there and they're still going to have DMC floss and I'm going to be able to kit this up and not mirror reverted because we only have a Hobby Lobby here and they don't carry as much as that one and they're more expensive than Michaels. And I'm kind of liberal in their Hobby Lobby and hopefully that won't offend anyone because I do shop at Hobby Lobby. I'm not going to buy anything there. If I need a skein or like a piece of cardstock or something small, I will definitely, but if I'm going to make a giant purchase, I'll drive further to Michael's. And I want to give them my business. But anyway, I won't get into all that, but I hope they're not going to quit carrying DMC. I'm going to send a strongly worded letter to their customer relations department if that's the case, because I really like buying my DMC at Michael's. Anyway. Let's see. The weekend before my dad passed away, my parents came to visit, and my mom had been cleaning out the basement, and which is just full of stuff. And I'll be the first to admit, a lot of it is my stuff that I've just, and my siblings' stuff that we've just socked away in their basement, and you know, I don't have room for it. Here, Mom, you hold on to this until I need it. So she brought me a whole box full of stuff, and it's like old college textbooks and pictures and ornaments that, who knows, but some of my old cross-stitch finishes were in this box. Not all of them. There are still finishes that are missing and lurking out in the nether somewhere, but I'll show you what she brought me. Some of these I'll probably hang up. Some of them, like this one, I don't know why I stitched this. I'm never gonna hang it up. If any of you would like to have it, comment below. It's finished. It just needs buttons sewn on it. I don't know. Maybe I'll give this to my sister. She would probably really like it. It's called Family Buttons, and it's this long verse talking about how there's, it says, a button here from Grandma's gown worn on her wedding day, another from mine, a pearl one, precious as words can say. I got married in like a vintage red dress. There were no pearl buttons on it. So, I mean, this isn't working for me. That one is from my husband's shirt, a blue one I recall, and those are from the baby's things. I don't have a baby. I'm never going to have a baby. This doesn't work for me. But anyway, it's more like that. It's really sweet. It's a really sentimental piece. I don't know when I stitched this. I didn't sign it and date it, but yeah, maybe I'll finish this for my sister. But this was when I just bought giant pieces of fabric, apparently, and all of this extra, I centered this on the middle of. It's a little wasteful. There's that piece. There's this piece, which looks like I did sign this one. Maybe I finished this in 2000. I think this was from a magazine. Maybe like Starry Night Sampler or something. Oh, sorry. Blurry, 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 but you can see where I signed it. This is a really stiff linen, by the way. I'm not a big fan. A lot of pink. It's not a very me piece. But this was back when, like, I could only stitch what came to me in magazines and what I could find at Walmart, because I had no idea you could buy cross-stitch patterns on the internet. This one looks like I finished this in 2002. I was really into cross-stitching when I was like a senior in high school. There were a lot of pieces that I gifted out, but it looks like this I kept for me. Looks like this is, did this on 18 count Ada, it looks like. That you could buy at Walmart. And I had to go to an LNS, which I actually had one at the time, to get anything different. This came out of a magazine, I know it did. I don't know what I'd stitch that as is. Put my initials in here. It was my initials at the time. It really is a nice piece. I'll probably hang this up. And one of the main reasons I will hang this up is I did not have this professionally framed. My father made this frame for me. I stitched this and said, I remember telling him that it was abnormal size, and he took me to Home Depot. And we picked out molding, and he made this frame. He had glass cut for it, and he and I covered the back of it, and he hung this on there. You can tell at the bottom, this is like a grocery bag that we cut up and put on the back of this. This is going up. This is going up somewhere. Jim will get over it if he doesn't like it. This piece, oh my gosh, has been in the basement at my parents' house forever. And I just took these out of this box, which is why I'm blowing hair and stuff off of them. And it looks like this may have some mildew on the glass. I need to clean it. I have talked about this piece before. Wow. This was professionally framed. I finished this Holly Hobby in 1993. You know what? I'm kind of digging on her. She's pretty cool. Finished her in 1993, which means I was 11 years old. I was 11 years old when I stitched this. And this is the one I was talking about, where I did a color conversion. I converted the colors on this when I was 11 years old. Go me, if I do say so myself. Okay, the glare is atrocious. But you can see, even, you know, I was still stitching on Ada and doing color conversions, whatevs. But, yeah, my room at the time was hunter green. So I converted this to match my room. And my mom had it framed for me, and this hung in my room for a really long time when I was a kid. And you know what? I think it needs to go back up on my wall. I'm digging it. Looks really vintage and cool. So there's that. The only other thing I was going to share with you guys is some people had said they were interested in seeing some of my Ouija boards. I really don't have a lot at all, and some of them are kind of boring, but my two favorite are the first one I ever bought and the last one that I bought, which are my two wooden boards. And they're really old. So if you're not interested, you can go away. That sounded mean. If you are interested, this is my first Ouija board I ever bought. This one is an old, and you can tell that it's a little worse for wear. You can see where it's warped here. The longer I have it, that's getting worse, and I really don't know what to do about it. And you can see the warping here. But see on the back, this one has the directions on it. This one is from the early 1900s, like 1910, 1914, something like that. I stumbled upon this on eBay for a super bargain. You would never find this board for as cheap as I got it for now. And sorry, I've had it displayed and it's dusty. I should clean it more. And yeah, it has like where some people have written on it over time and some imperfections in it and stuff. It did not come with a planchette because they did get broken and lost a lot from these early boards. This one in particular came with a planchette with like 2-inch legs. They broke off a lot and then they probably got thrown away. But this is my oldest one that I own. And the first one I ever bought. I stumbled upon it and it really turned me on to collecting. This one is the last one that I bought. This is a wooden board. It is not manufactured with the actual Ouija trademark, but this is there was a lot of knockoff boards. This one was made by Drueck. It's a Mystic Soothsayer board, and this one was made in the 1940s. Also was not able to get a planchette with this. When you find them with those, they're much, much more expensive. And this chick can't afford that, so. But I love the artwork on it. I'll show you the corners. It's like astrological groupings in each corner. Really lovely. And the Soothsayer one is the only one that I've ever seen that says static at the bottom, if I'm thinking correctly. I could be wrong on that. But you can tell this one is much smaller than the other one. But it is a wooden board. There was a reproduction of this one done in the early 2000s, but this definitely isn't the reproduction. This is one from the 40s. You can see the old stained wood, aged on the back. It's really nice. So that's it. I am going to stitch some more on Hawkran Hollow and work on getting that finished up. And I am going to go to Michael's tomorrow and I'm going to kit up this. And I may kit up this. And I have a kit in the mail coming my way from Russia, which means it's taking a while to get here. I don't know that I've ever sewn a kit. There's a stitching confession. I don't think I have ever owned and stitched a kit. Maybe, like, I think what I learned on was one of those little tiny ornament like kits like you would buy at Walmart. But since then, I've never stitched a kit. I've always bought charts and fabric and kitted them up. I have a kit coming. It is unlike anything that I have ever picked out and stitched before. It is not my normal aesthetic whatsoever, but I cannot look at it without smiling or laughing or both. And it brings me such joy. My husband is going to roll his eyes and walk away. Tracy P bought the same one, like the same day that I did, and we're probably going to stitch it together. When it comes in, I'll show it to you because I don't want to describe it and you not be able to actually see it because it's that fantastic. It comes with a piece of Aida. I've actually ordered a piece of Picture This Plus fabric to use instead because, hello. So when that gets here, hopefully that will be here for my next video. If it's not the video after that, but on the edge of your seat with anticipation, I'm sure. It's going to be really awesome. But until next time, see you guys later. Bye.